Choose an anorak. Choose a bobble hat. Choose a Rupert the Bear badge. Choose a thermos. Choose a cheese sandwich. Choose an apple. Choose a biro. Choose a spare biro. Choose a notepad. Choose a millets knapsack. Choose some humorous underpants, perhaps with long vehicle across the frontal area. Choose all of these things, but don't choose life. Choose railway locomotives.
Choose Harry Enfield with never-seen-before footage.
I've put my money in, they're willing to give me a ticket.
There, Busy Bee. Here's my hanky.
Oh, no thanks, wet boy. Germs. I'll use my own.
Take the best Kit Kat you've ever had and multiply it by 1,000. Then divide by 7.15, take away the number you first thought of, and present your answer as a vulgar fraction neatly in an exercise book. And that's only half as good as mainlining.
Can you just spool it through for me, do you think?
Choose cock-ups from They Think It's All Over.
Mum!
Choose rock and roll in an exclusive to video edition of Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
Earrings. Finishing touch.
Choose the Fast Show Live.
Someone's sitting there, mate. Someone's sitting right there in your seats. Don't make me come down there and fish you out, pal.
Oh, I'm mad, I am. Totally insane. I'm surprised they let me out.
Suit you, sir. Suit you, madam.
It's very, very live.
This is the view as far as I can remember, madam. Yes, this is it.
When I pay for a view, I expect something more interesting than that.
But that is Torquay, madam.
But it's not good enough.
Well, may I ask what you were expecting to see out of a Torquay hotel bedroom window? Sydney Opera House, perhaps? The hanging gardens of Babylon? Herds of wildebeest sweeping majestically?
Don't be silly. I expect to be able to see the sea.
You can see the sea. It's over there between the land and the sky.
I need a telescope to see that.
Well, may I suggest that you consider moving to a hotel closer to the sea? Or preferably in it.
Round one is our celebrations round. We show each team the celebration following a goal, and what we want to know is why the players are doing what they're doing. David's team goes first. Your goal comes from the World Cup in '94, Nigeria versus Greece.
And he's got a free man to his right as well, and a chance here for Nigeria to take the lead, and they have. George, Benidi George, that's a great goal.
That guy, his name's different depending on what part of the world he's playing in. If he's playing in Europe... No, seriously, if he's playing in Europe...
It's the same with Lord Lucan, isn't it?
Yeah. If he's playing in Europe, he's Finidi George, but if he's playing on another continent, he's known as George Finidi.
Why is that?
Well, because that's just the way it is. He's not George...
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
John Watson tells it that's the way it is. Why the trouble in Bosnia? Well, that's the way it is.
I mean, do you have problems normally remembering these names?
Well, I tend to sort of practice them in bed the night before the game.
Doesn't that bother your wife, you shouting out?
She's not always there on a Friday.
Let's get this right. You're in a hotel room on a Friday night on your own and you're shouting out men's names. Have the papers got hold of this yet, John? You know?
Well, possibly, but...
That's the way it is.
I just try and...
Do you feel at all inclined to answer the question?
The Greek manager had insulted the African players about 2 days before the game, I think, and the Nigerians decided if they scored, they would make an insulting gesture in their celebrations as a sort of, you know, to kind of...
To piss them off.
Well, the Greek manager, yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, yeah. Finidi George was showing what he would like to do to the Greek manager. He's apparently a great bloke, but you can never get him in the bath at full time. Now, Gary, Rory and Roger, your excuse concerns this ignominious defeat against Sweden in the 1992 European Championships.
Dahlin, Brolin, brilliant goal!
What, according to Graham Taylor, was the real reason for England's defeat?
It's a bit unfortunate you played that clip. It was during that match that you got pulled off, wasn't it?
Well, not literally, no. I think... Great.
Didn't you get confused that all the Swedish players sound the same? Brolin, Grolin, Dolin, Golin, another Golin, another Golin.
Was that in Sweden, that match, Gary?
It was in Sweden,
Had the team been up all night watching lady Volvo manufacturers on the job? Or...
I don't know.
You should say that.
Yeah. You remember the manager's name?
Yeah. Graham. Great manager, top man, best manager I ever worked for.
Really?
Oh, superb.
Really?
Never blamed anyone else but himself.
Really?
Top man. Love him.
Did he give particularly inspiring team talks, Gary?
The best. I mean, for example, the morning before the Sweden game, the crux of it was, if it goes wrong, don't blame me. But no, I think it wasn't it something about they're bigger and stronger and of an outdoor something or other.
More Swedish.
Yeah, I think I have to give you 3 points for that. If we have a little listen, this is what he actually said.
Sweden were physically stronger than us. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking now about fitness as such. I'm just talking about their physique, their build.
Why? Why should that be?
Boy, I couldn't particularly answer that. What I do know, I mean, if you look at the Scandinavian countries anyhow, they tend to be of an outdoor pursuit.
David and Teddy, your excuse comes from Spain. Earlier this season, Seville's Real Betis, seen here playing local rival Sevilla, refused to let a season ticket holder into any more home games for the flimsy and pathetic reason that he had died the previous week. So what excuse were his family given for not being allowed to take the dead man into the ground?
Is it because he spoils the atmosphere? Because every time the Mexican wave gets through him, it just stops. Is it because it would upset, like, because, you know, if they started shouting out, who's the bastard in the black, the Undertaker would get upset.
Well, that's the closest so far.
It's all gone quiet over there. I think it's a good idea having dead people at the game, though, because it'd take the smell away from them burgers, wouldn't it?
I don't think we're going to get this, are we? Let's actually hear the explanation from a Real Betis fan.
The son had put his ashes in a glass container, so security wouldn't let him in.
He couldn't take a glass container of his father's ashes into the ground. I mean, it's coming to something, isn't it, when you can't take a bottle of pop to the game.
I just wanted to feel how big those balls really are, because that lap was unbelievable. That's quite a tribute coming from your teammate.
Not more women's tennis.
Is it Jane Torville?
Lineker in Torville bollocks jibe.
Don't know what this person does, but his second name rhymes with the singular of another word for balls. Singular is bollock Gary. So is that a rhyming clue?
I think we're back on that bloke with 9 balls.
Pollock. Sean Pollock.
Manchester United. Manchester United. And bottom. Bottom is a.
Ass. Backside.
It consists of two. The bottom consists
Cheeks.
of two
parts. Buttocks.
No, but if you knock the ox off the end.
Buttock.
Nicky Butt!
It's hard when you get pins and needles in your willy, though, isn't it? It was the last time I used that acupuncturist, I tell you.
It must have been years since you saw your penis.
Gary Lineker said penis.
Come on, I met Gary before, you know.
You've met Gary before?
Yeah, many years ago.
Where?
In Ireland. He wouldn't talk to me then.
Are you trying to tell me you went up to him and he blanked you?
Yeah, totally blanked me, yeah.
I'm hard, isn't I? Known for it.
Can we...
Well hard.
Guys, all the cockroaches watching.
Excellent. David's team, have a look at this. Oh, there's a man who should get out more. OK, so what was all that about?
Yeah, well, it's gurneying. That's what it's called, gurneying.
Gurning.
Yes, gurning. You stick your head up something and you pull a funny face. Well, it's about the only sport you'll be able to see that isn't on Sky soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're the sports minister. When are you going to sort it out? I bet you've got Sky, haven't you? I bet you've got Sky, haven't you? I bet you've got Sky. I bet you've got Sky.
Answer the question.
Yes, I have, yes!
I never was so rough in school.
Oh, no.
No, I'm serious. I was so rough. But this is, again, educational. Take it on board.
When I went to school, the other children...
Do you mind not interrupting, old boy?
No, honestly.
They said I was too rough. And, well...
They didn't like you?
Well, it's not that they didn't like me. I was always too rough. I always made other kids cry. And it was because I was very rough. I had 3 older brothers kicking hell out of me every day. I mean, literally every day. Of which made me very independent at a young age, at 8 years old. Now, which is how you become a good fighter. Let me just tell you that. It's a fact. The way you become a good fighter or a successful person is by being independent-minded. Okay, let me just carry on to...
I've not been on this programme before, and I seem to have misunderstood the nature of it. As I understood it, a question was asked, and then some attempt was made to answer it.
Listen, hold on a minute. Let's get this into perspective now. No, hold on. Into perspective. I can't believe that the first guess I had, you're not going to accept. Accept it. It's right.
I accept it was a guess, but it isn't right.
It's got to be right.
No, we've asked the player.
No, look at it again. Are you actually playing, you lot?
Yes, we're winning.
Oh yeah, I suppose you are.
Perfected a way of sleeping with our eyes open.
When I was a kid, I used to say
hang on,
silent but deadly.
Don't interrupt me, ever. You went to a rough school, I went to a very good school. David went to a very posh school. In fact, David's school was so posh, the gym was called James.
Okay, I can tell you a few stories.
No! We have some lines of verse for each side, and what we want to know is, what are the next lines? Gary's team, your wordsmith is 9-year-old Frederick Watson, son of John.
I dreamt last night that my boots had turned into jelly sweets, with licorice strings for laces, studs made out of dolly mixtures. Lights flooded on, and in came Dad.
So?
What an anorak. He's so sad.
His son sounded like, I dreamt last night that my boots had turned into jelly sweets.
Yeah, that's a 9-year-old son, if ever I heard one.
Fair enough.
I'm John Motson's son. I'm 9.
I bet he's very popular at school, isn't he?
Hey, Motson, you're a wanker, you are.
Who are you calling a wanker? Hello, Mother, Father, I'm home.
Georgie Best superstar looks like a woman and he wears a bra.
Could you help me with my homework,
Mike flooded on and in came Dad, who said, curiously enough, that's the 13th sweet-related dream you've had since 1980.
These are the correct words.
Lights flooded on, and in came Dad. Are you all right? Not worrying about tomorrow in the school team?
Frederick Motson is possibly the only boy in the world who wears sheepskin pyjamas.
I've never seen the magazine before in my life.
Can we have our next mystery personality, please? Okay, your 90 seconds starts now.
It's not Sharon Davis. It's huge. It's my overdraft. Oh my God! He's chewing a squirrel.
I'll give you a clue. He's not a jockey.
Dear, oh dear, nice tit. Actually, I'm feeling strangely drawn to you now.
Is it the All England Chiropody team?
I think it's someone who was born near a nuclear power plant. One minute! Look, what's happening?
Where are we allowed to tread?
Dave.
What? Where are you?
I can't believe this. I'm lying down next to a woman and she's real. Actually, let me go through my normal routine.
Hang on,
well,
all we've
give us
got so
half
far
hour
are
and we'll
legs.
try again.
Very nice.
This has never happened to me before.
How many legs have you got?
I've only got one. What? I've got two. You started with two? No, myself personally, I have
Come on,
two.
there's only half a minute left.
Half a minute left? Oh,
well,
blimey.
What else is there?
I could do it 3 times.
Your 90 seconds start now.
What's that? Someone life-saving. Life-saving.
It's Shergar.
Yeah.
Randy. Do you know the horse's name is Randy?
Really?
Yeah.
You can see that if you look behind it.
Bloody hell, yes.
Good Lord!
Oh, no! That's 2 massive pricks on the show this week. I wasn't talking about you! I wasn't talking about you! It's Gary's team's turn. Unstitch this one.
Oh, yes. I think it's Martina Navratilova's new girlfriend, is it?
Was that you years ago, David Gower years ago?
He's the Lloyd Webber brother who got the looks.
Harpo Lloyd Webber.
Harpo Gower, that one, isn't it? Must be Eubank.
Eubank in the middle.
Yeah, Eubank. Do you know why he wears a monocle? Go on. Because he doesn't want to go into the opticians and ask for spectacles. That's one you've got then.
Gower.
Yes,
Head.
Gower's hair before he put it on the hot wash. Yeah? That was when David Gower was known as the fifth stylistic.
Can I just say, you know, that we had a bit of an advantage there, except for the fact that Dave didn't realise that was his hair.
Well, I don't suppose you'd have got yours either, would you, mate? No, I've got no idea.
No, hang on, darts player, it is Leighton Rees.
OK, so you're going for Leighton Rees, the darts player. Let's split it up and have a look.
Where is Leighton?
David Gower, we know. Rashid, we know. And Ozzy Ardiles,
Oh, and he let himself go.
Often compared to Leighton Rees, the darts player. Ozzy Ardiles has now moved to the Japanese league, where he's having about as much success as you did. That wasn't too bad of me, was it? I haven't done a go at your hair yet. How long have you been working in that chip shop? Name names, please.
I can't remember her name, but I've been out with her. I know that.
So it could be anybody then.
It's the pretty one from Prisoner of Cell Block 8. No, seriously, it's Sally Gunnell.
And I think
Which part?
Which part?
All of it. You should know, Rod. She's a close. She's a close. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce Roger Black's retirement from the British Olympic team.
I think my mate Bob was on the right track there. Problem is...
How long have you known him?
We sat here for a long time before the show started.
He's marvellous when he's angry, isn't he? You could start a pub fight like that. Boy, it'd all go off, wouldn't it?
You can start a wine bar fight.
Outside in the Mews now.
Was it David Gower's staff on their annual outing?
We don't get leave.
He doesn't like to spoil you, does he?
He don't care as long as his shrubberies are all right. Bastard.
That's Mr. Bastard to you.
Oh, sorry, sir. If I had hair, I took it. Oh, sod it. There you go.
He's not something like sort of Swazi royal family and not allowed to swim with commoners or something like that?
Strange you should come up with that one, Dave.
It's just like you're at King's School, Canterbury, mate.
It did just sort of...
The only thing I can think of is that he's a member of the Swazi royal family.
Dave's got his feet on a small Filipino boy under here. It's all right, Manuel. It's all right. Don't worry, mate.
He's got the devil in him today, Mr. Gower, hasn't he? What will Nanny say?
I'll see you in bed.
Waiting for you. Sorry! One of the few Conservative successes last week, the Conservatives held David Gower's garden. Although I should point out that that was David Gower's garden west. David Gower's garden east went Labour, and that's what happens when you allow the staff to vote.
Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly.
Have you got the answer?
He can't speak, his mouth's full.
David, Lee and Steve, you're first if you'd like to pick a number.
Mr. Gower, Mr. Gower.
Oh, what now?
I'm sorry. I just
David's team, it's the Cameroon's most famous goal bagger for you, Roger Miller.
Roger Miller organised the football tournament for one-legged players.
Roger Miller organised a football tournament for a cannibal tribe.
Roger Miller organised a football tournament for pygmies.
So, David's team, did Roger Miller organise a football tournament for monopeds, cannibals or pygmies?
Did he organise a football match for cannibals and then it went into extra time so it became a football match for one-legged players?
Yeah, forget the oranges.
You want one of his
He's got a sweet left foot.
Yeah,
that's enough now.
Well, they have stock cubes in the bath at the end of it, do they?
Do you reckon if cannibals play a pre-season friendly, they just lick? And then they have like the team meal after the game, you know, and they carry on the same terminology. Pass the salt over here, on my head.
Well, you can imagine the chants, can't you, the football chants during the Cannibals game?
No.
I'm going to try, you know,
Go on.
like... who's in all the pies? You're going home in a tasty casserole.
What happens though if the one-legged team win? Actually, do they get legless after they've finished? I mean, they can only have a knee up, can't they? Really? They can't...
Do you reckon it's one-legged team go, yo, 1, 2, 3? Yeah! We kind of think it's the one-legged team.
Wait. No, we think it's the pygmies.
Oh,
I don't trust it.
Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Working class people, take the notice of it.
I couldn't shout loud enough to get that joke in. He wasn't going to let me have it.
I'm staying here. I refuse to rejoin until I lead my people in a revolution.
Lee, when Lenin talked about joining the working classes to attack people, I don't think he was talking about game shows.
Oh, fair point. Yeah, right.
So you're going for pygmies on a unilateral decision then, are you?
Just got booed, David.
Well, it's...
So reminded you of Lords.
Pygmies was Rory, let's see if you're right.
Scum.
Yes.
Well done, Captain.
What's the matter with you lot? What's the matter with you lot dissing this bloke? He knows what he's talking about. You scum.
You just proves you cannot trust the electorate.
You can't trust them.
Luther Blissett is the name of an anarchist urban guerrilla movement.
Are there any 2-year-old children in the audience?
Bit of a mouthful.
Luther Blissett.
Luther Blissett.
No, you do it loud.
Luther Blissett
Is the name
of
an anarchist.
Urban guerrilla movement.
Guerrilla movement.
Guerrilla movement. Guerrilla movement. Guerrilla movement. Guerrilla. Okay.
Okay, try with me now.
Listen.
You ready? You ready?
Listen.
Frankie. We were knocked.
We were not
out of the World Cup.
Is it because they got very excited because they'd scored a goal and it's very hard to run with a hard-on, so...
Joe, how do you know it's hard to run with a hard-on, Joe?
I don't know. It's quite hard. It's hard to run with a wide-on.
Can I just remind you that my parents are in the audience tonight, so you don't want that sort of language.
Well, can I just check with you?
Yeah.
What we can say? Can we say poo?
Can say poo, I think.
Bum.
Bum, certainly.
Mariella Frostrup.
What was the bet?
10 quid if I got a laugh out of Mariella Frostrup.
they just shaved their legs and were just, really proud of them? Did you shave yours?
I don't shave my legs,
Don't.
no.
Do you show us, go on. No, she doesn't. No,
What, no, fuck
they're
me.
smooth.
Very
You've got a
smooth.
hard on now.
Right, I can reveal, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes, I have.
That's your microphone.
These side bets are getting ridiculous. This one, if Gary said he had a hard on, Joe had to give him 60 quid. I'm just really, really frightened about the 500 that Rory's going to get if he gives him a blowjob.
Chris Boardman is allergic to lycra.
Right.
Aren't we all, dear?
On long cycle races, Chris Boardman suffers from numb penis syndrome, which is probably why he ends up with an odd-shaped helmet.
I get a lot of that numb penis syndrome as well, and I find it affects my wrist at the same time.
That certainly wouldn't affect any else's.
You're so bitter since I dumped you, John.
You've never shit me, mate.
Oh, no, I'd split my arse if I tried.
It's not the first time your arse has been split. You got this job, didn't you?
Well, if you had swallowed, you'd have got the gig. But there you go.
So, Chris Boardman. Lee.
Chris Boardman's bike.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you said last time.
It's too soon, wasn't it?
I was faking it, John. Anyway, Chris Boardman's...
So was she.
Teed up for Gray. Yes! Good strike! Michael Gray equalises for Sunderland. And they go into what presumably is a well-rehearsed little routine.
So, what do we think all that business was about?
Fuck knows.
That's what it represents. That's a fuck nose, is it?
No, I just have no idea.
I thought that was a very good answer, actually. Yeah. That's mine. He stole it off my sheet. Don't look anymore.
I didn't make it right.
Oh, no.
You know when you're going for a fight, right? Just before you go in, Steve, they put a bit of
You didn't
Vaseline...
tell me this was going to happen before the show. Never know what I'm trying to see.
They never do.
They put a bit of Vaseline here, don't they, before you go in for the fight?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Do you not think that that's a bit of... Do you not think your manager's sort of letting you down a bit there?
It's not... No, it's where you put the Vaseline. That's when I let this...
I don't deny you're an attractive man.
This goes on.
Can I make a suggestion? We put it to the audience. Who'd like to see Steve Collins fuck Lee Hurst up the arse?
I've got to put my hand up, because if he wants to, he's got to.
David, you've got to replace fuck nose.
But he's on the team. He's booked for the series. There's an offer.
You've got to be annoyed, Dave. Be annoyed.
It was only to start the show.
Dave, be annoyed. Dave, whatever you do, be annoyed.
Fuck knows. Oh, no, sorry,
We're all going to be annoyed.
Can I shut it?
Be annoyed, Dave.
Shush. Christ knows. Nice, that's hopeless. Duck nose, fuck nose.
It's fairly hopeless. Yeah.
Well, it's always hopeless. Harry, it's your problem. Edit the fucking thing out now.
Can we go?
Go, Patrick.
We've been harsh.
All right, without the arse bit. Okay. Okay, is it recording?
Yes, still recording.
And one.
Right, I'm going to put it to the audience. Who'd like to see Steve Collins shag Lee Hurst? It's not the same as fuck him up the arse, is it? So we kick off with our excuses round, which deals with the imaginative reasons some sports people... Who did that? Some sports people, we kick off with our excuses round again, it says.
It's cocked up on the auto cue, isn't it?
There's an auto cue? I've been learning it! It's time now for Pro-Am Celebrity Fumbling as we play Field the Sportsman. We've decided to give our team captains a week off this week, so David, you can just relax, OK? Just imagine you're at the crease. It's Lee and Bob up first, so if you'd like to take your positions, take your blindfolds with you. Okay, blindfolds on. Can we have our first mystery guest, please?
Sorry, I'm not looking. I can't actually wear this blindfold. I'm sorry to be a huge wusser.
Is it Bob Mills?
Sorry, Pat. I'm sorry, I can't. Hang on. I'll just go around there so I can't see. All right? There's no monitors, are there?
No, it's funny. Is this a wind-up?
You've got to keep it on, Lee. You've got to keep it on.
Keep it on, please. I can get very violent. I want that noted. Mum, it's dark!
The blind Lone Ranger.
Yeah, the blind Lone Ranger. Come here, Tonto Silver. Where the fuck are you? What's the matter with Millsy?
What's up with him?
What's up with him? You get claustrophobic? Well, ain't you seen the programme?
You better take the guest away. You better take the guest away.
Oh, that's it. I'll just stand like a lemon now, innit? Am I on my mark? You can take it off. I can take it off.
Is Lee going to do it on his own?
No, fuck off. This is a wind-up, isn't it? If this is Jeremy Beadle, you're a cunt, right? So then cut that.
And it's time now for our Pro-Am Celebrity Fumbling as we play Field the Sportsman. It's David and Lee up first, so out you come, get your blindfolds.
Oh, don't I play it?
No. We thought you'd be too hard.
Bob, I'm going in now. Maybe sometime.
OK, can we have our first mystery guest, please? Oh, didn't you know? Nice tracksuit. OK. Your 90 seconds start now.
Are you Sabutio Man?
Right, well, that's the cheated to get that.
Now let's do that again.
What's that? All right, what's going on?
Even though he's managing in England, Kenny Dalglish still intends to follow Scotland's World Cup campaign to the bitter end. He's bought a day return match. Fuck.
You know you're reading every other word, don't you?
Yeah. That's what I've done before, and it's worked. Even though he's managing in England, Kenny Dalglish...
That was so close, so close.
Even though he's managing in England, Kenny Dalglish still intends to follow Scotland's World Cup campaign to the bitter end. He's bought a day return match.
Missed out 3 words.
It'd be a quick one with that, Lee.
It's not going to work now, is it? Dalglish got his nickname King Kenny from... No, never mind that one either. Gary's team, your subject. Fuck that, keep going.
No, he made me do that fucking bad breath line. Do it.
Do we want to hear it?
I'm not doing that joke.
No, do it.
Come on.
Even though he's managing in England, Kenny Dalglish still intends to follow Scotland's World Cup campaign to the bitter end. He's bought a day return for the Brazil match. We'll miss the next one. Gary's team. No, come on.
No, let's do it. We'll do it.
We need the time.
Go on, you can do it in unison then, go on.
Okay. Dalglish got his nickname King Kenny from the fans of the club he managed, who would ask, "Where's King Kenny?" and get the reply, "He's king buggered off again."
Did you see that about Ron Atkinson's house getting burgled?
Yep.
By the way, the other
Terrible.
week? Brilliant. Personally,
no, his wife was she tied up for 14 hours or something.
Yeah.
That'll teach you to invite Frank Boff round for dinner, won't it? And how much jewellery?
I was going to say, I didn't see the point in raiding Ron Atkinson's house when he wasn't there, because he wears all of his valuables. OK, Gary, Rory and Gabby, your goal comes from the all-important cup tie between Shrewsbury and Scunthorpe at Gay Meadow.
Here's possibly a chance. Richard Scott. Oh, that's a delightful lob. Richard Scott's done it for Shrewsbury.
OK, Gary's side, what on earth was going on there?
Are they all doing an impression of Mrs. Ron Atkinson trying to get to the phone?
Yes, that's correct, 3 points.
I think it's their impression of Chris Waddle. Waddle?
No, Waddle.
Oh, look, I tried. I tried. It's the only footballer.
Waddle in footballing terms doesn't mean to sort of walk in a waddly way. It means to miss a very important penalty and a crucial to waddle.
I know 3 footballers, and that's 1, 2.
Who's the third?
Ginola.
Do that face again, Gabby.
No, that was just once. You have to say the name again.
Ginola.
What?
Let's try this one. Lineker.
No.
David, Lee and Ron, it's the magic of the FA Cup for you. Here's Matthew Billy Beale, bundling one in for Cambridge United against Welling in this season's first round of the FA Cup. The cameraman, by the way, was sitting in the seat I usually get.
This is Hyde. Crosses to the near post, and it's touched in, I think, by Beale.
So, what do you suppose that was in aid of?
On a train.
Was that a train? Is that what you're seriously asking?
Trying
I mean, talk about out of touch.
This could fall rather flat now.
That's what the ladies and gentlemen see.
We'll laugh.
I think it's going to be funny. Come round. He's good, this guy. Here it comes. Here it comes now. Any second now.
Was it the 4:45 into the Beezer Home League?
My mistaken time.
Good.
I do beg your pardon. I've wasted your time.
You know when I said, can I go now?
Yeah. Have you just been?
Can I go?
You don't have to ask, Dave. You're an adult now.
He does, though. I get phone calls in the middle of the night.
Can you just turn over and touch him?
Yeah.
I'm only joking, Nick. I'm only joking. No.
Wish Coventry had gone down.
We thought...
They will.
Let me tell you, if the Titanic had been built in Coventry, that wouldn't have gone down. No way.
Well, not if it was still in Coventry. Well, it depends.
We know what it is.
We know exactly. It's sort of like it's like an elephant.
Elephants,
type thing,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. You're nearly there. I'll give you some points.
We think they did that so they could be on this show doing their celebration.
Fair enough, yeah.
Now, I should get 5 for that because they were on 3 other shows.
The Cambridge players were doing an impression of elephants because a number of the squad have enormous ears. That much was pretty obvious. But the reason for doing it on the pitch, as Ron says, let's hear the lads explain.
Because we wanted to get on, they think it's all over.
So they thought they'd get on this programme if they looked like an elephant. Wonder where they got that idea. Gary, of course, has never been on safari to Kenya for fear of being poached. And Lee has never been to a Greasy Spoon cafe for fear of being poached.
How many hours a day do you practice in, Steve?
I play a lot. I practice about sort of 6 or 7 hours a day.
And you still get beat? That's quite tough. I'd cut down on that playing, right, you know, and have a bit of a social life, mate. That's why. Because like, if you don't practice, you stand up and still get your arse kicked and go out for the evening, couldn't you? A pleasure to meet you, mate. Yes. Nice sweet England striker. Because Gary used to do that, you know. Really? Yeah. How's your toes, mate? All right. That's what I think, you know, toes very important as a striker. I mean, Douglas Bader loses his legs, still flies in the Battle of Britain. Hey, oh, splintering my toe!
Hey, Frank, can I just ask you a question, mate? Yeah. Like, when you're a jockey, yeah, you're on the horse. When the horse wants to go toilet, yeah? The horse wants to go toilet, yeah? Why does the jockey always stand up, yeah? Is that like because the horse won't go if you're sitting down, or is it just like because you don't want to get spattered in doo-doo? All right, miss. It's weird, isn't it? They always stand up when they go.
Frankie, you know when you're on a horse? You know when you're playing snooker, right, and you're like, you know, like the other geezer, he's a bit ahead.
What, and I lose?
No, perhaps you might make a surge in recovery. Yeah? Highly unlikely, but let's carry on. So you're sitting there, right, and the other bloke is playing, and he's like scoring loads of points, and you're sitting there, and you're sort of tempted, if he's playing a shot straight down towards you, so the camera's behind him and they can't see you, sit there and go... you know, put him off a bit, do you know what I mean? And if anybody says anything, you say, no, it's chalk, mate, that's all. You do that. Poor Steve, he's sitting there, right, he's taking a beating, and there's nothing, you just got to take the punishment, haven't you?
You can't hide, no, and...
well, why would you want to?
It'd be quite funny if you did, wouldn't it? If you'd hidden, like, they could say, Stephen Hendry, break of 35.
Do you think this is the right time for the Lee Hurst interview? Could be. But Ewan, you're a runner, mate, aren't you? You're full-time.
Yeah, that's right, you know.
Why, you run all day, 24 hours a day, is that it? You never stop?
Never stop, mate.
Don't you get tired then?
You're an athlete, you're an athlete.
Do you ever sit when you're running?
You ever get athlete's foot? That'd be funny, wouldn't it, if an athlete got athlete's foot?
Yeah, you're running round, right? You're running round, right? Okay, you're running round. You're doing what you should do, the 400 metres. Yeah, I know you do the 400 metres. You're running round, right? Like, if you fight, is that wind assisted?
Leave it, like a
Shut up, no, listen. If you're running round, right, you're an athlete, right? You've got your shoes on, you're running around. You're running like that. You're running around like that.
You do the 400 metres, right? If Gazza, right, was an athlete, would he do the 400 litres?
You know what, you're doing a relay race, you put your hand behind and someone gives you a long, thin thing. Oh, fuck, it's a poo! Does that happen?
Could I just say, get well soon, mate?
Here are United being especially rubbish against Southampton in 1992, a season when they handed the title to Leeds after losing 3 of their last 4 matches. But inevitably, it wasn't their fault. The person the Man United faithful blamed was none other than Rod Stewart. What we want to know is, why was the famously mean Scotsman to blame? Gary's team.
I mean, was he tapping all their wives or something?
Was he what?
Tapping their wives, Lee.
Tapping?
It's a sexual term, you wouldn't be familiar with it.
Isn't that when a manager rings?
It's what people do with sheep, Lee, which you would be familiar with. So.
What is the origin of the word tapping?
Bing Frank. Tapping. To tap is a rural term for sheep having sex. Gary.
Tupping is when a manager rings a player from another club and tries to get into his own club.
Rory.
Tup.
Verb, intransitive. Someone who tups is a tupper. What you wear while you're tupping is Tupperware.
It's women's athletics and the 1928 Olympics. So here's Germany's Caroline Radke coming home first in the 800 metres final. But after this event, all women's races were banned from the Olympics for the next 20 years, except for the 100 metres. Why do we think that was?
At the risk of being sexist.
It's a risk you rarely take.
Was it because doing the long races they were getting back too late to have your tea on the table? Okay, sorry, no, apologies. Was it because they didn't have enough energy left for the dusting and tidying events? Oh, no, sorry. Was it because they all went, ooh, when the starting pistol went? At the risk of being sexist...
You've been waiting for this question all your life.
The 100 metres is a straight race, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they don't let women race in a straight line, because once they had to turn a corner, they get completely lost. That's all, girls. Thank you. Good night.
You got something amusing to say.
After all that. After 4 series.
Was it some kind of medical reason?
Sort of, an alleged medical reason, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Very good. I'm trying to answer the question.
I thought you didn't know anything about sport.
I'm diving now into the world of gynecology. Was it to do with...
Rory's got his Bronze Life-Saving Award. It was to do with the physical rigours of training.
I told you that.
Yes, I know. But I reviewed, you know. I'd like to know what they felt
they
the physical
might
rigours
age
of training
prematurely or something.
is absolutely correct. 3 points. Yeah. Here's Fanny Blankers-Cohen, winner of 4 gold medals at the 1948 Olympics, with the story.
We had an 800 meters in Amsterdam in the stadium of during the Olympics. It was very bad to look at it. The girls were tired, they couldn't walk, they collapsed. And, don't laugh, the London Daily Mail said the girls would become old too soon. Ridiculous.
So, that's 22-year-old Fanny Blankers-Cohen. The British runner in that race took so long she actually finished in colour. Jimmy Hill famously signed off an edition of Match of the Day in 1983 by saying, "Good night, and don't forget to put your cocks back." The whole country was confused except for Rory McGrath, who did exactly what he was told.
And it took me an hour. People laugh at women's beach volleyball, but actually it's more difficult than it looks because it does require very good hand-eye coordination and very strong wrists. It's even harder if you're playing it, I'll tell you.
Rory, of course, has some sympathy with aircraft enthusiasts. He too has spent many hours alone in his bedroom, fingers all stuck together, poring over catalogues of models.
The interesting thing about a cockroach is it hears through its legs. Do you know that? If you get a cockroach and pull all its legs off and say, run, it won't move. And the cockroach we saw in there is American, that's Periplaneta americana, as opposed to the Blatella orientalis we have in this country. And they mate in a very strange way. The male deposits sperm in a sort of leathery sac. Actually, come to think of it, so do I. Sorry about that.
Truly horrifying picture for you, featuring none other than our own Rory McGrath.
He's actually very, very pleased with it. Look at him. He's just said, looking good.
I always wondered how they worked, Kermit.
I was just looking at that, Rory. Surely a tadpole would have been enough.
When I put it on, it was a tadpole.
Have you just followed through?
Have you followed through? Nice one, Tuffers.
Tuffers, you must see things like this all the time, don't you?
He's going out with the fairy prince and it turned midnight and that's what happened.
Did you buy the drugs from a dyslexic drug dealer? Use after amphetamines and he give you amphibians?
Or has he got a terrible croak habit?
Is this a frog wearing a Rory McGrath rucksack?
So, that's former world and Olympic 400-metre hurdle champion Sally Gunnell. But what's the picture all about?
You do hurdling in your event as well, there. And it's true that when you hurdle, the coach always says you've got to keep as close to the hurdle as possible. And this is a new training method, which is to try and design so you get as close to the hurdle as you can, but if you smell hair burning, you're too close.
I think Sally runs for Essex ladies. And you know what they say about Essex ladies?
No.
20 fags and a quick leg over kind of thing.
Was it in that order? You got the order right?
Maybe it's 50 fags, I don't know.
Mind you, David was 50 fags a day, man, weren't you, at school? David's team, it's the unelected voice of football for you, Jimmy Hill. But what is the Chinster up to?
Woo! Can I just establish something?
Yeah.
That is sun cream, isn't it? If that isn't sun cream, that is quite talented, I must admit. I would have imagined he would have had to use joined up writing if that wasn't sun cream.
What is that stupid thing on his head?
A handkerchief. That's his chin.
Has he been abroad, right? He's met this girl, he's took a shine to her, he's so tight he won't buy her an air ticket, so he's posting her home. The thing is, this is like actually what they call, in newspaper terms, a glamour model picture, isn't it? Because she's just topless. But of course, once you put a prick in there, it's soft porn. You're banned at the moment, aren't you, Frankie?
Yes.
What did you do?
I did a Michael Schumacher.
You did a Michael Schumacher? Well, that's unfair, driving a car into a hot
What's that word they use to describe different strengths of sun creams?
Factor.
I'm sure he did. But
oh, no.
I think Sweet's got the last line. Sing the last line of the song.
Can I just ask a question? Sweep is down there.
Yeah, of course
Obviously, I'm not going to ruin the image.
That.
But why do you have to bend down?
Because he's only little and he's got to use my microphone.
I can't give you the points this
It's
time.
scanned.
You can't give us the points?
Hang on.
It's scanned, OK?
No.
Dong. You can't give us the points?
What's this? No! OK, Gary's team, please pick a number.
Number 3.
OK, let's have a look. OK, that's spendthrift Newcastle manager Kevin Keegan and a bath. So incidental.
Was he disturbed by a floater? Could have been a team bath. That's happened to me.
Gary, is that the official ending?
This is true.
You were in the bar?
I was in the bar after a game.
And Kevin
I went-
Keegan's floater.
It wasn't I never played.
Go on.
When I played for Leicester,
Yeah.
it was in the big communal bath after the games that they used to have. It's all showers now, you know.
After
It's
this
lying
incident,
there.
presumably.
You've never seen a bath empty so quick. It's just floated across the top.
You're in bath with floater. Gary admits.
I'm glad I brought that up.
Oh, was you though? Okay, that's Newbury Rugby Union team and a tub of Vaseline. So, how was the rugby team injured by a jar of lubricant?
Shall I go first? Maybe there was sand in it.
Is it something to do with their slippery tackle?
Oh, you devil. Get the idea now? I think they put it on their ears.
They do.
So that they don't get all...
Cauliflowers.
Yeah.
You need a lot for you, girl. You'd have a scrum where it'd be about 10 foot apart.
I don't think you'd ever get me in a scrum.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Right, so that's ex-England captain Mike Gatting and a cricket tee. So how did a cricket tee cause Fat Gat to come a cropper?
The picture doesn't do justice to the average Lord's tea, does it?
Unless you take that as to scale against Gat. Yeah, he got so fat he went out and the game was abandoned because of poor light. He just stood there and the sun's going, well, I can't cope with this.
He's very good actually at taking us out all for dinner and stuff, Kat, and he looks after all the boys regarding the food and stuff. And
Anything else he took out for you, or?
What, cheeks? What do you mean? What else did he take out for you? No, and he took us out for a pre-test dinner and stuff, and we went to an Indian restaurant, and he...
That was handy, wasn't it?
In India, yeah. And we all got sick in the morning, and the physio went down there to try and narrow down what had given us the tummy bug. But
got it down to the food.
Yeah, got it down to the food. But he couldn't narrow it down because Gat had ordered 28 dishes. There was chicken, everything, rice, so they couldn't narrow it down. But I was at the game actually when it happened.
What, and you can remember?
Yeah, I was. By then.
It's only short term.
It was tea time, mate. It was tea time.
Well, he ate all the cakes before he got looking.
Yeah, I put something in the cakes actually. That's why I'll get so peace, man. No, it was.
Well, as opposed to two pieces.
Yeah, no, he was sitting at the top of the table, and the lady came out with the tea tray and two big boiling hot jugs of tea, and tripped over one of the boys' feet. Fell all over Gat like that, and all the tea went all over him and burnt him all on the chest. Well, they said that she tripped over his foot. I think one of the boys might have just slipped it out for her to trip over.
It wasn't.
They wouldn't have tripped over mine if I'd have slipped it out.
And incidentally, this is serious, we would just like to apologise officially to Mike Gatting for a reference in the last series to him being in a flower bed with a barmaid. We now accept that there was no barmaid present at all and that he was alone in the flower bed rooting for truffles. Our first subject is Middlesex and England spinner Phil Tufnell.
Out. Beautifully bowled.
Phil Tufnell failed to turn up for a drugs test because he was stung by a wasp.
No. Phil Tufnell failed to turn up for a drugs test because he was bitten by a fly. A dog.
Phil Tufnell failed to turn up for a drugs test because he was out of his mind on drugs.
It's got to be the most unlikely one, isn't it? I mean, not like to have sniffed up all the ashes, is he?
Was the...
That was very professional. That was very impressive.
You do that with too much authority. Because you're into
Never touched them,
legalising.
Squire.
You want to legalise the weed,
Never
don't
touched
you?
them.
Sure you're not a Tory?
Never touched them.
Yeah?
Well, you don't have to touch him, do you? If you go like that.
Tony, what is Labour's policy on cannabis, by the way?
We're not going to legalise cannabis.
So you don't want this back, then? That you gave me before?
I don't want this to sound wrong, Tony, but are they just not allowed to sack you?
So where did this wasp sting him?
I think it was Edgbaston.
Well, if you're giving a urine sample, it's quite obvious where it's...
It was the wasp, but he actually did try, he claims, to give a sample at tea time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, that is, isn't it? You're all sitting there, try and have a tea and a bun.
Yeah.
Here comes Phil.
Phil comes in. Everybody finish with this teapot.
I certainly wouldn't fancy sucking the sting out there.
So that's taking drugs and sucking off Phil Tufnell. So far. Let's see if you're right. Who said the wasp one? Was it you, John? Absolutely correct for 3 points, yeah.
David Gower was once the guest of honour at the opening of a lift.
Can you do it in Welsh?
Certainly can't.
So, David, your go.
Yeah, apparently I was once the guest of honour at the opening of an envelope.
David Gower, you see, right, was once a guest of honour at the opening of a coal mine.
So, Gary's team, was David the celebrity chosen to open a lift, a coal mine, or an envelope? Which is it?
You've advertised writing paper, haven't you?
Yeah.
David? An envelope. David Gower envelope, posh note paper. A4, a single, and out.
I'm not polishing them. I don't care what you do.
A lift. A lift, David.
Open
A
a lift.
lift.
Open a lift. I wouldn't trust him to open the batting.
What did it say on the lift? Maximum 8 runs or less.
How many floors? Can't throw, can't bat.
The opening of a coal mine. You're all a bit like the miners, aren't you?
We have got to use the land profitably.
One out, all out.
It's the biggest thing.
Were you the guy there with the chandelier on the front of your helmet? And a swan in a cage? Sorry, mate.
I know the answer to this question.
Well, then, what's the answer?
True to form, David had an embarrassing waft in the lift.
And you said lift, didn't you, Ewan? Yep. Let's see if you're right. So, David Gower was indeed able to find a hole in his busy schedule for the opening of a lift in Brad Beer's department store in Romsey. And here's the proof. Look at that sweet white-haired old dear. With his hand round that woman. Is there nothing you won't do for money, David?
Yes.
I mean, you've done a lot of stuff, haven't you? For instance, take this photo sent in by an eagle-eyed viewer in Leamington Spa of an anonymous man in a contact mag. Okay, blindfolds on?
Yep.
In you come, Vinny. Did you see him? No. You didn't see him.
Picture logo.
Oh, you've ruined it for him now.
Okay, act. Like pretend we don't know.
Okay, act.
Good idea.
Okay. Okay, you have 90 seconds in which to guess. 90 seconds in which to guess if this is Victor Abudu. Okay, we've got time.
Welsh rugby player. It's
6 seconds.
Jones.
Gareth Edwards.
3, 2,
Gareth Edwards, he's small.
That's your time.
Can't be.
Who played for him?
I didn't know.
Billy Jones, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. subtlety from Mr. Liniger when he came in. What did you say?
Hi, Vinny.
I can't hear him.
I'll say his name Jones.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear you. Bad luck.
No. Okay. No, come on. Hey. Cheer if you want us to score some points. 1, 2, 3.
What the fuck's it got to do with you?
Blindfold on, Sharon.
I certainly have.
Can you see anything?
No.
Okay, you ready? Okay, can we have our next mystery guest, please? Okay, your 90 seconds starts now.
Get out the way, you. It's my only chance. It's someone who cheats at Sabutia. Nice arm we got. Huge calves. God, they should be exported to France in wooden boxes. Any idea, Sharon? Whereabouts are you?
I'm just about to go to check the lunchbox.
What are you doing down there? Anyone you recognise?
I think so. I hope so.
How many does that narrow it down to?
Is it all there?
Is this my darling husband?
Yes, absolutely correct. Well done. Gary's team, you need 8 draw level, 9 to win. Are you left-handed, yeah?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah.
Your 2.5 minutes start now.
Yeah.
That's too good.
Come on, you've got a lot to get.
I can just amend this if I can just slightly make it into. Is this somebody else now? Yeah. It's I've just changed it into a sort of athlete sort of person.
Javelin? Is that a javelin?
No, it's not a javelin. These are like the shorts, and this is the leg.
Linford.
Yeah, thank you.
Christie.
I totally just thought about
Give me a bit of paper, Rory, come on.
Okay. This nice, easy one for.
Shergar.
Yeah.
Rolf Harris. He looks like Rolf Harris.
A little bit of
Harvey Smith.
Harvey Smith. Very good. Yeah. What was that? This one here.
Cricket.
You copied it fast.
Gower, David Gower.
3 more will get you level.
Michael Schumacher.
It's time to forget.
Nobby Styles.
No, you're a rugby player. Big ears.
What's that?
That is.
Peter Beard.
Is that Beardsley? With the hump and then the white low too. Yeah.
30 seconds, Rory, come on.
That's very good.
Cantona. Yeah.
Come on, Rory.
That way, Frankie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They got a band. Well done.
What a drawer. What a drawer.
And your 90 seconds start now.
And there goes Mansell!
Murray Walker.
Grant, why are you doing this to me? You know what I mean? quite sorry. Liverpool won, Arsenal didn't.
David Coleman?
Correct. And there he goes again, the bloke I just mentioned.
Murray Walker.
No, the driver.
Manson.
Hold on. Regan Bob.
Hello.
Leave the middle.
I'm the nicest man in the world, and I'm sitting over there next to the hairy one. I don't know the voice, but same.
Jimmy Hill.
Jimmy Hill.
Ow! Tennis player. Big tits, plastic. He's on last week.
Chris Agabusi. Ellen Hughes.
Not quite that this week.
That's too small.
No, I've got more hands than he swims.
Duncan Goodyear. Jimmy Greaves.
How do we settle this one? Well, Gary, do you recognise this?
Yes, I think it looks like Gary Lineker's soccer
This is indeed Gary Lineker's soccer quiz book, written, allegedly, by Gary Lineker. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ask you a question from your book. If you get it right, or if I say you get it right, your side wins. If you get it wrong, David's side wins. Is that fair?
What about the David Gower book of cricket questions? Don't we get that out?
Well, maybe that'll happen another time, clever clogs. Maybe it's just down here. Okay.
Why don't you ask me that question and Gary the one out of my book?
Oh, just shut the fuck up. The rules are decided already. Okay, Gary, this is your question from your book that you wrote.
Of course.
Who was the Airdrie captain who missed the 1992 Scottish Cup final after being booked for pulling a face in the semi-final?
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Because I wrote that book. But that was actually the page that was done by the researcher.
If there is so much as one question in here you didn't write, you're a cheat and a charlatan.
Well,
I wrote the questions, I didn't do the answers.
OK, Gary, what's the answer to that question?
It's Mr. McTaggart.
What? You don't mean Jock McTaggart, do you? No, that is incorrect. David Gower is this week's winner.
David Gower is now going to spend the next 3 weeks reading his book.
I've got far better things to do than that.
I don't think you have, mate. Hey, David, we know from a couple of weeks ago that Gary's written a quiz book. Here we have David Gower's cricket quiz book, written, obviously, by David Gower. So, as with Gary, I'm going to ask you a question from your book, which, as you wrote, you'll find a doddle. If you get it right, your side wins. If you get it wrong, Gary's side wins. OK, the question from your book is, who wrote David Gower's cricket quiz book? It's your choice. Tell the truth or lose the game.
Isn't there...
Go for the truth, mate.
The truth is, I've no idea.
Can we have a clue?
Yeah, it wasn't David Gower.
Was it anybody here?
His name was Peter Allen.
Ron Allen.
Dave Allen.
I'm afraid that's not good enough because you originally said Peter Allen and the name was Patrick Allen, so this week's winner is Gary Lineker's team. Sorry, you made it difficult for me, Gary and Rory.
Yeah?
Oh, if you would take your positions, please.
Rory, you must be really warm under all that flad.
Blindfolds on. Can we have our second mystery guest, please?
is it?
Your 90 seconds, although it may be extended, starts now.
Rory, behind you, son. Rory, have you lost weight?
Have you got a very fat bloke with a big...
Very.
So have I. Isn't it a shame, Gary, how these men let themselves get out? Hairy chest, Gary. Yeah, mine too. It's such a shame, you know.
What?
People like
Just hit him!
Rory,
what?
Shut up.
No, I've got a fat, ugly, hairy man over here. You sort yours out.
Pour oil on him, you'll be all
I
right.
haven't got a clue. God.
15 seconds! Time's running out.
Is it those, what they've got
This
things?
is,
They've got barges.
Yes, correct for 3 points.
Well done. What a sport.